So I'm curious, what number big league spring training is this for you?
Um, four. Yeah, because I was 2020, 2021 Orioles, and then didn't get invited in 2022, and then 23 I was with Seattle's in the big league camp, and then yeah, that was a close one. I was very close making the team in that one, very close, but all part of it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to find out. It's just like when you're going into spring training for some of these places, like how stressful is it? You're going in, you're trying to win a job out of camp potentially. Like, is it hard to not put too much pressure on yourself in that like month window?
I was actually just talking to my wife about that today because she was asking me, she's like, "You think you're ready? Like, you ready to go?" And it is. I think it's different this year than what it had been in the past because I didn't necessarily think in 21 or 20 that I was competing for a job. It was like my first, and the Orioles had a bunch of guys. Last year, I did think that I was competing to an extent for a job, and I think that I got so close that I was like, "Holy, I might actually do this thing." So I think this year it's again a little bit more added pressure, but at the same time, it's like I know at this point I know what I do and I know what I can bring to the table, and it's just showcasing it. And if I think about that and try, they always say trying too hard, especially in this game, will make you go, and you'll start to dig yourself in a hole or go in one of those valleys. So I'm just gonna go out there and be free and just play the game the way I know. And if they need a player like me, then I would hope that would be who they pick.
Yeah. I'm curious because like there has to be like when you get spring training together, you get a bunch of guys, they're all trying to compete. Is there just like what's the buzz around spring training when you have so many guys fighting for like so limited number of spots? Is it like is every at bat like live or die, or like do you see other guys like going through it? Like is that kind of the vibe for some of these spring trainings and some of the things you've seen?
Maybe for some guys, I don't know. I can't speak to everybody on that. I just know like in terms of myself, but I don't think anyone acts any differently. I think nobody's not talking to somebody because they're competing in the same spot or whatever that means. There's no bad blood. No, we're out there playing the game, just enjoying it. Whatever happens supposed to happen, and we just roll with the punches.
I like that. It's such a unique thing, spring training. Like it starts out with like I feel like the first couple like big league games of spring training, there's like hundreds of guys there, and they kind of
Yeah.
get whittled. And the rosters get like slower and slower, slimmer and slimmer as they get closer. Um, so you've done grapefruit and cactus league.
Yes.
Do you have a preference
More
between the
more
two?
of my wife does. My wife likes Florida, but I like I like I like the Cactus League just because of the aspect of driving. Like that the trips. I just remember when we were in Sarasota and had to drive up to Fort Myers or wherever we were going. It was 2 hours or wherever we were driving is far, and it's kind of an all day thing. Where now it's like 30-minute drive, 35, 40-minute max is what you would drive in Arizona. So I do enjoy that and the shared clubhouses is nice too, where it's like minor league and major league. I think that is huge, having major league and minor league in the same complex, so you can get acclimated with all those guys. You get to see familiar faces, you get to coaches, the staff. You kind of just you see face a lot, and I think that helps that transition from not being in minor league camp and then driving your car over and it's like, oh, like I gotta get you know I'm not saying now, but when you were first drafted, it's like, oh crap, I got to figure out who all these people are. And I remember looking on my phone at all the coaches, trying to remember like everyone's names, so I knew. Yeah, that's I think the biggest thing is the shared complexes is big.
I like that. Any fond memories from that? Like, what's your favorite like spring training memory? Like meeting somebody cool, like just a cool experience you had.
Um, like I said, my spring trainings, the lower levels was in Sarasota. I think the wildest thing, because this was my first one this last year in Arizona, was um, like obviously Julio is a big deal, but each year I was also there, like all spring training. So I didn't know, because in Florida it's different, but I didn't know that people could come into the complex kind of like where the fields are and like hang out and ask for autographs. There's like a little line stopping them. But like when we walk out of the field, like it's free game, which was different for me. And so like for me, it's not a big deal. Like I just go out there, not very many people know me or whatever. But for for like Julio, when I walked out and I saw Julio, I'm like, holy cow, how is this guy going to get his work done? These dudes are running around. There's hundreds of people like chasing him. He would fake one way and then run another way. And Ichiro would do the same thing, like get everybody to think he was coming out one door and then go out another door. But that was pretty cool. And just for a fan aspect, I think that's pretty awesome just to be up close and personal. And I mean, our bullpens, when I was with the Mariners, our bullpens were right next to the fence. So all the fans could go up to the fence and just watch all these bullpens. And I don't know, just having that would be cool, especially as kids just coming up and seeing these dudes, absolute guys up there throwing.
Yeah, that's a great fan experience. What do you
Yeah.
think Ichiro, does he look like he could still play? I feel like guys look at him and he's still throwing 90 somehow.
Yeah. I think he could still play. Just watching him run down balls in the outfield and hit balls and BP and do all these things and throw. I mean, he plays long toss and still throws. I'm like, this guy could do it.